In January 2022, a YouTube channel best known for animation experiments uploaded 9 minutes of fake 1996 camera footage. A man falls through the floor of reality, wanders through fluorescent yellow rooms, and realizes something is following him. There was no famous actor, no existing film franchise, and no studio logo. The creator, Kane Parsons, was 16. The short did not merely become popular. It became the version of the Backrooms that millions of people pictured. And 4 years later, Parsons was directing an A24 feature built from the same visual grammar. The remarkable part is not that Hollywood noticed a viral video. It is how much of the original survived the trip. The Backrooms began as a compact internet horror idea, an unsettling photograph paired with a warning about accidentally no clipping out of reality. The earliest description gave people damp carpet, buzzing lights, endless empty rooms, and the possibility that something could hear them. Online communities quickly added levels, monsters, factions, and rules. Parsons did not invent the name or the Yellow Room. His contribution was to strip the concept back down and give it physical weight. In his short, the space does not behave like a game map. It feels like an industrial mistake that should not exist. That decision separated his film from the enormous fan-made lore already surrounding the idea. Parsons built the environment in Blender and finished the illusion with compositing, camera shake, damaged tape, sound, and deliberately imperfect framing. The camera operator does not present the rooms cleanly. He turns too late, loses the subject, catches walls at awkward angles, and runs before the audience can study the creature. Those choices hide the seams while making the footage feel found rather than designed. The fluorescent hum does as much work as the image. Rooms repeat, but not in a way the viewer can map. The short is technically controlled and visually messy at the same time. That combination became a calling card, and it gave viewers enough evidence to analyze without explaining the fear away. The follow-up videos did not simply send more victims through yellow corridors. Parsons introduced Async, a fictional research institute treating the Backrooms as a scientific and commercial discovery. Training tapes, test chambers, missing person records, motion detectors, and internal damage control footage made the series feel like pieces of a suppressed history. The installments were released out of chronological order, so viewers had to reconstruct cause and effect from dates on screens and fragments of dialogue. That structure created a durable audience. Each upload could work as a short horror film, but it also changed the meaning of earlier footage. By the time studios called, Parsons had already demonstrated a world, not just a single jump scare. A common route for an internet hit is for a studio to buy the premise, hire experienced filmmakers, and keep the original creator nearby as a producer or consultant. The Backrooms deal was more ambitious. Parsons remained the director. He developed the feature while finishing school and moved from solo digital production into a set with established actors, department heads, producers, and a release calendar. Profiles of the production emphasized that the adults around him were not secretly directing in his place. The scale changed, but the project still depended on his sense of space, timing, and ambiguity. That is why the movie matters as more than a creepypasta adaptation. It tested whether an online filmmaker's authorship could survive industrial production. The feature centers on a furniture store employee who discovers an impossible opening in the building. That setup echoes the ordinary commercial spaces that made the original image disturbing, while giving the film characters and relationships that a found footage short did not need. The production built a vast practical environment and combined it with digital extension. The trailers still avoid giving the viewer a clean geography lesson. Corridors appear to rebuild themselves, Familiar rooms become wrong, and the characters' memories seem connected to the maze. The movie could have raced through dozens of fan-created levels. Instead, its marketing stayed close to Parsons' own interpretation. One unstable complex, one institutional history, and the fear that reality can be copied badly. The adaptation reached theaters only a few years after the first short, while the original videos were still circulating and being re-watched. That compressed timeline changed the marketing problem. A24 was not reviving a dormant property for nostalgic adults. It was meeting an audience that already knew individual frames, dates, sounds, and theories. The official trailer itself became a major online event. A fake furniture store commercial extended the fiction outside the film, and the home release promised hours of production material, including VFX breakdowns and commentary from Parsons. The campaign treated the web series as an active text rather than an embarrassing prototype. Viewers were invited to compare how an image built in a bedroom became a physical set. The cleanest version of this story is that a teenager uploaded a viral video and Hollywood handed him a movie. The more useful version is slower. Parsons had spent years learning animation, editing, sound, and visual effects before the Backrooms. The first short worked because every technical choice served a clear feeling. The later series proved he could build suspense across multiple releases. The feature deal then protected the person responsible for that language instead of separating him from it. Plenty of viral clips receive meetings. Very few become films that still look unmistakably connected to the original upload. The Backrooms went from YouTube to A24 because the video was not only popular, it already behaved like the beginning of a filmography. The first clue did not look like a clue. It looked like a bargain bin local commercial for Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire, a furniture warehouse promising that everything must go. The video was short, cheerful, visibly cheap, and just wrong enough to hold attention. Near the end, the picture broke down. A phone number remained on screen. Unlike most numbers used in fictional advertisements, this one could be called. People who treated the spot as a joke heard static or an invitation to leave a message. People who sent a fax received something else, a promotional flyer containing dates, an address, and imagery that pushed the commercial out of advertising and into an alternate reality game. The Backrooms movie needed an ordinary place that could plausibly hide an impossible opening. A furniture showroom was almost too perfect. It contained fake bedrooms, fake living rooms, fluorescent aisles, warehouse walls, and the promise that familiar domestic spaces could be bought in pieces. In the film's setup, Clark works at the store and discovers a doorway below it. The commercial lets the audience meet that world before the plot begins. It sells couches rather than explaining lore. So the fiction feels as if it existed independently of the movie. When the image suddenly distorts, the horror is not entering from another genre. It is leaking through a piece of media that was already pretending to be old. A clickable website is easy to recognize as a campaign. A telephone line is more intimate. Calling requires a person to decide that the fictional business may answer. Faxing the number is stranger still, because the technology matches the period and the office world aesthetic of the story. The returned flyer rewarded viewers who used the less obvious channel. It could be photographed, shared, inverted, enlarged, and compared with frames from Kane Pixel's earlier work. The campaign therefore produced its own evidence chain. One person called, another faxed, someone else decoded the image, and communities assembled the results. The audience was not merely waiting for a release date. It was performing the same kind of archival investigation that built the Backrooms fandom. The most useful clues were not random, spooky symbols. They connected the movie's furniture store to dates and images already present in Parsons' web series. The flyer was dated May 17, 1990, a date associated with a drawing shown during the async rehabilitation material in Damage Control. That link suggested the commercial was not a detached marketing gag. It occupied the same broader language of corrupted corporate records, damaged memory, and institutional concealment. Fans could argue about how literally the feature and the web series shared continuity, but the campaign rewarded knowledge of both. A viewer arriving from the movie saw an eerie flyer. A viewer who knew the videos saw a document apparently filed inside an existing history. The flyer also used a recognizable San Jose area location near Capitol and McKee and described the store as just off Interstate 680. There was no Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire waiting there. The real geography nonetheless mattered because it gave the fiction an edge. Search results, street imagery, and local knowledge could be folded into the investigation without revealing a conventional film set. The address was specific enough to feel traceable and incomplete enough to preserve the mystery. Good alternate reality campaigns understand that a clue does not have to end at a locked box.
Sometimes its job is to make the boundary between promotional design and ordinary infrastructure briefly uncertain. At normal speed, the last seconds register as a broken tape. Paused and adjusted, the image offers more. Reversed or inverted material, a flash of the space behind the sales pitch, and visual echoes of the movie's doorway. That is why the spot survived after the first wave of calls. It was short enough to replay and dense enough for viewers to disagree about what they saw. The cheap typography and overacted enthusiasm were camouflage. A polished horror teaser would announce that every frame deserved analysis. The commercial pretended not to know it was important. By the time the corruption appeared, the viewer had already accepted the fake store as a piece of local television. The campaign moved across formats that normally do not belong together. A commercial could appear during streaming television, then circulate on YouTube. A phone number produced sound. A fax produced paper. An address pushed people toward maps. Older Backrooms videos supplied dates and visual references. No single step was especially difficult, but the chain encouraged different people to contribute. That is more effective than hiding one impossible cipher in a poster. The reward arrived quickly enough to keep the search moving, while the larger meaning remained open. Even viewers who never placed a call could watch the investigation unfold and feel that the movie had already begun, outside the theater. The Backrooms became famous because an ordinary image acquired a story. Then thousands of people added evidence, rules, and competing explanations. The Ottoman Empire commercial repeated that process on purpose. It did not begin with a narrator telling viewers to solve an official ARG. It arrived as an object that looked misplaced. The working number made it testable. The facts made it collectible. The dates made it searchable. The address made it physical. The campaign borrowed the habits of the community without requiring viewers to memorize a wiki. For 30 seconds, a fake furniture store felt like a real piece of media with something buried inside it. That was a better invitation into the film than another 2 minutes of plot. The final image of Backrooms is designed to make you question whether the person on screen is still the person you followed. that is not a random monster shot added for a sequel. The movie has spent its entire runtime showing a place that copies ordinary rooms badly, repeats furniture without understanding use, and rebuilds human memory as architecture. By the end, the same process appears to be happening to people. Mary can escape a corridor, Clark can insist he has found meaning, and a body can look familiar, but the maze has made identity into another surface it can reproduce. The ending is frightening because it removes the one test the characters still trusted: recognition. Clark enters the Backrooms through the basement of his furniture store and gradually stops treating it as a place he should escape. He sees echoes of his business, his failures, and his private resentments. Those echoes feel personal enough that he interprets them as proof the maze understands him. The trap is that imitation is not empathy. A room can repeat his furniture and still have no idea what a home is. A creature can repeat a posture and still have no human intention behind it. Clark wants the Backrooms to validate the story he tells about himself, so he accepts copies as meaning. His collapse establishes the ending's rule. Being mirrored can feel like being known, even when the mirror is empty. Mary begins from the opposite position. Her work depends on listening to a person's account without automatically accepting every conclusion inside it. When Clark disappears, she follows evidence into a space where evidence itself cannot be trusted. The rooms trigger memory, the geography changes, and familiar details appear without a reliable cause. She is therefore the character best equipped to resist the maze's emotional logic. But resistance does not grant immunity. The Backrooms does not need Mary to believe its copies are authentic. It only needs enough observation to reproduce what other people will recognize. Her journey turns the therapist's problem inside out. Instead of asking whether Clark's story is true, she has to ask whether the person telling it is still Clark. The still life creatures are more disturbing when viewed as attempts rather than finished monsters. Their bodies and movements suggest something studying human form without mastering it. They can occupy the outline of a person while exposing errors in proportion, expression, or timing. That matches the architecture. The Backrooms can produce an office, a store, or a domestic room, but small failures reveal that it is copying an idea of the place rather than building it for human life. The entities extend that process from walls to bodies. A chase is only the immediate danger. The larger threat is iteration. Every encounter gives the maze more information about how people move, react, grieve, and recognize one another. Near the end, Clark restrains Mary and demands that she confirm his interpretation of what has happened. The scene resembles a therapy session, stripped of consent and turned into a trial. Clark no longer wants help testing his beliefs. He wants an authority figure to certify them. The still life forms surrounding him make that demand literal. They are bodies that resemble agreement, without possessing an independent human point of view. Clark has built a room where every visible thing can reflect him back. Mary's refusal matters because it preserves a distinction the Backrooms keeps erasing. A copy is not a witness. Repetition is not truth. And attention is not care. The maze can surround him with likenesses, but it cannot make his story honest. The final movement gives the audience the familiar grammar of escape: running, a threshold, and a return toward ordinary space. Most horror films use that grammar as confirmation. Cross the boundary, and the nightmare is behind you. Backrooms refuses that certainty, because the maze has already demonstrated that boundaries can appear in ordinary buildings, and that familiar forms can be fabricated. A person reaching the outside does not prove the outside has remained separate. A recognizable body reaching safety does not prove the original consciousness traveled with it. This is why the ending can support several readings without becoming meaningless.
The mechanics are unclear, but the danger is precise. The Backrooms has learned enough to make the distinction between rescue and replacement hard to see. The image associated with the end credits is the movie's sharpest statement. It presents a version of Mary that is close enough to identify and wrong enough to distrust. The important question is not whether a wiki can assign the image a definitive label. The film has already taught us how to read it. Rooms are remembered incorrectly. Objects recur outside their normal purpose. Clark mistakes resemblance for understanding. Still life forms imitate bodies. The final Mary-shaped image places the audience in the same position as every character who encounters a copy. We recognize first and investigate second. That delay is all the Backrooms needs. The image works whether it depicts a replacement, a duplicate still inside, or the maze rehearsing what it observed. Backrooms ends on a fear more modern than simply being lost. The characters live among stores, therapy records, surveillance images, home videos, and memories that reduce people to patterns another system can study. The maze behaves like the worst possible version of that system. It does not understand a life. It gathers enough surfaces to generate something recognizable. Clark welcomes the process because he wants the world to reflect him. Mary fights it because she understands that a person cannot be reduced to the story told about them. The final copy leaves the argument unresolved on purpose. The terrifying possibility is not only that Mary may have been replaced, it is that everyone outside may accept the replacement, because recognition is easier than proof. The strangest production detail in Backrooms is not a creature effect. It is the fact that the maze existed. The film built more than 30,000 square feet of connected yellow rooms, corridors, openings, and repeated architectural mistakes. Kane Parsons said people on the production sometimes got lost inside it. That sounds like perfect marketing, but it also explains why the feature moves differently from a movie assembled from one hallway and a dozen camera angles. Performers could turn a corner without knowing exactly what the next room would reveal. The camera could travel through space instead of pretending cuts were geography. A digital nightmare became a physical workplace, and then made the people working inside it feel the same uncertainty as the characters. Parsons' 2022 short achieved the opposite illusion. He constructed the environment in Blender, composited the camera into it, damaged the image, and designed movement that concealed the boundary between photographed and generated material. The spaces felt real because the camera behaved imperfectly. It arrived late, clipped walls, hunted for focus, and exposed rooms in fragments. A conventional feature adaptation could have expanded that method with a larger visual effects team. Instead, the production asked what would happen if actors and operators had to navigate actual versions of those rooms. The practical build was not a rejection of the digital series. It was an attempt to preserve the same uncertainty when the camera, performer, and wall all occupied one place. The transition still began on a computer. Digital models let the team test proportions, sight lines, turns, and repeated modules before construction consumed material and stage space. This is where Parsons' background mattered. He could communicate the emotional function of a corridor through a model rather than through abstract references. A low ceiling, a wall placed slightly too close, or an opening that reveals another, almost identical room can change how the audience reads distance.
Pre-visualization also helped the production decide what had to exist physically and what could continue beyond a set wall through extension. The result was a hybrid workflow. Use digital space to design confusion, then build enough of it that confusion becomes an experience rather than a post-production effect. On a small set, an actor often repeats the same movement while the crew redresses walls and changes lens direction. The performer knows exactly where the scene ends because the stage ends. A maze of this scale removes that certainty. Distance becomes tiring. Sound travels unpredictably. Other people can disappear behind turns. The actor can react to the physical delay between seeing an opening and reaching it. Chiwetel Ejiofor described the build as unusual even by feature film standards, while Parsons emphasized that it could be walked through as a connected environment. The production did not need to ask everyone to imagine endlessness from a strip of yellow wall. It gave them enough real space for the body to start believing the fiction. A set that confuses the camera can also confuse the department trying to place a light, move equipment, or find the next setup. Reports that people got lost are funny because they mirror the premise, but they also reveal how thoroughly the build rejected normal stage readability. Film sets are usually designed around control. Walls fly away, routes stay open, and every position serves a plan. The Backrooms set had to remain controllable enough to shoot while appearing indifferent to human use. That tension is visible in behind-the-scenes material. Ordinary construction, rigging, and crews surround a finished space that tries to hide all evidence of construction. The maze was manufactured, but it was manufactured to resist being understood at a glance. The practical environment gives the camera permission to linger on navigation. A turn can begin in one room, pass through a narrow connector, and end in another without a cut announcing that the production has moved to a new set. That continuity makes architecture active. The audience remembers where a doorway should be and notices when the next space violates the memory. It also lets the film withhold creatures. Empty distance becomes suspense because the route itself can betray the character. Parsons' shorts already understood that a backrooms shot should often last long enough for the viewer to search the frame. The large set extends that principle. Instead of using space as background for a monster, the movie can make searching the space the central action. 30,000 square feet is enormous for a set, and tiny compared with an infinite dimension. Digital work was still necessary to erase boundaries, extend corridors, alter geometry, and create transformations no stage could perform safely. The important distinction is not practical versus computer-generated. It is which layer carries the shot. When a performer touches a wall, runs a distance, or rounds a corner, physical construction gives the movement weight. Digital extension then removes the evidence that the space must stop. The best hybrid shots do not ask viewers to admire either technique. They let a real floor and a real body lead into a geometry that could not exist. The computer makes the maze infinite. The set makes the first 100 feet believable. The Backrooms became famous through a photograph and a digital short, so a giant physical build was never required by the concept. That is exactly why the choice matters. The feature could have treated Yellow Walls as a recognizable franchise logo and concentrated its resources on creatures. Instead, it spent space, labor, and time making navigation itself feel wrong. The crew getting lost is more than an amusing behind-the-scenes detail. It is evidence that the design worked before the camera added music, editing, or visual effects. For a few weeks, the Backrooms was not an image online. It was a place where someone could take the wrong turn on the way to work. had already opened, broken records, and reached its ending when A24 announced that the movie was coming back with 16 minutes of new footage. The title was "Everything Must Go," a phrase taken from the furniture store world inside the film. This was not simply a few deleted scenes inserted into their old positions. The expanded presentation ran the original feature and then continued with a substantial post-credit section. Kane Parsons said he approached the work like one of his YouTube projects, editing it on a laptop in under 2 weeks. A studio blockbuster temporarily turned back into the format that created it, a finished story followed by another strange piece of evidence. Extended versions are usually planned for home media, anniversaries, or established franchises. Everything Must Go arrived almost immediately after a film made for under $10 million produced an enormous theatrical response. That success changed the risk calculation. Audiences had already accepted a 2-hour psychological horror movie built from an internet myth. A24 could ask them to return for material that did not fit the normal rhythm of a wide release. The new event also kept the film in conversation during the crowded summer window. The important point is that the extension was not a rescue attempt for a failed opening. It was a reaction to demand, created while viewers were still arguing about the ending and the lore. Calling the release an extended cut can be misleading. A traditional director's cut often restores scenes throughout a film and changes pacing, motivation, or structure. Everything Must Go was advertised as additional footage and a theatrically exclusive post-credit continuation.
That preserves the original feature as a complete object, while letting the new material behave like an appendix, tape, or sequel fragment. The form matches Kane Pixel's web series, where a later upload can reframe earlier events without being inserted into the middle of an existing video. Viewers experience the original ending first, then receive another block of information that may deepen, complicate, or redirect what they thought they understood. The most revealing production detail is that Parsons described editing the new section on his laptop in under 2 weeks. A feature film normally moves through a heavily managed post-production chain with locked schedules, shared storage, review sessions, and many departments. The laptop does not mean he worked alone, or that the material had no studio infrastructure. It means the creative center returned to a compact tool he could manipulate directly. His original Backrooms films were built through exactly that kind of rapid personal iteration. He could adjust timing, composite images, test sound, and watch the entire piece without translating every decision through a large hierarchy. The extension became a studio release made with a creator's upload mentality. The title works because it belongs to the ordinary world of the movie. A furniture business might use Everything Must Go to advertise liquidation. Inside Backrooms, the phrase also describes disappearance, copying, and a space that absorbs objects and people. It suggests the store is not merely connected to the maze, it may be feeding it. The title therefore links the film's commercial setting to the internet myth's central fear. Ordinary material can slip out of reality without warning. A post-credit section carrying that phrase feels less like bonus footage and more like a final transmission from the store.
The language of a clearance sale becomes an announcement that the boundary is still open. Listings placed the Everything Must Go edition at roughly 2 hours and 6 minutes. That is a demanding length for a concept once expressed in a 9-minute upload. The extra time does not only test audience patience, it demonstrates how far the Backrooms had moved from a viral visual into a world viewers wanted to remain inside after the conventional ending. The post-credit placement also changes the rhythm of watching. People who know the original film spend the final stretch searching for differences and implications rather than waiting for the plot to begin. New viewers encounter a false finish, then discover that the movie has another chamber. The release structure performs the same trick as the maze. The exit leads to more space. The initial presentation used theatrical exclusivity as part of the appeal. Seeing the new footage required returning to a cinema and staying after the ending. Later home release information confirmed that Everything Must Go would not vanish with the event.
The material became part of the physical edition, alongside making-of features and commentary. That matters for a project born online, where videos can be revised, unlisted, reordered, or separated across a channel. A disc fixes the extra chapter into a durable version of the movie, while preserving its identity as an addition. The path went from YouTube episode to feature to theatrical appendix to archival home media object in a matter of months. Everything Must Go is interesting even before debating whether every new scene improves the film. It shows that the Backrooms adaptation did not have to abandon the release logic of internet horror. Parsons could finish a studio movie, watch an audience respond, assemble another piece quickly, and let that piece change the conversation. The 16 minutes were marketed as an event, but their creative shape resembles an upload. A new title, a concentrated idea, and another fragment arriving after viewers thought the evidence was complete. The movie became large enough to fill theaters without becoming too fixed to update. In the most literal sense, the door stayed open.